Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Jujustu Kaisen, chapter 192. I've already read the chapter beforehand. I want to try a different format for the videos. So we're going to go ahead and review the chapter. So the first line in this chapter kind of confused me. I heard that Itadori died by suicide. And this line comes from Gakuganji, and he's saying it to Kamo. Kamo still has like the pre-time skip design. So I really don't know where exactly this conversation between Gakuganji and Kamo takes place, because it can't be when Yuta did his thing with Yuji, because, well, it might be when Yuta killed supposedly Naoya, or healed Naoya, and told Naoya, yo, go tell everybody that Itadori's dead. He just told Naoya to report Itadori's death. Not really the method. So is this from the Cursed Room arc? That can't be true either. Like that death wasn't written off as a suicide. So I'm just a little bit confused as to when exactly did they report Itadori's death as a suicide. It has to be the most recent with Yuta. That's just my guess. And they do remind us that in order when you kill somebody, in order for them not to come back as a cursed spirit, you have to kill them with Jujutsu. This was stated earlier in the story. I forgot exactly when, but if I'm not mistaken, it was stated earlier in the story that fact was true, which would explain why motherfucking Naoya came back as this grotesque monster. And one thing I really liked about Naoya's new transformation is the actual dialogue or monologue that is coming from this creature. And one thing, I think they did state this earlier in the previous chapter, but because he can talk English or human language, he is extremely powerful. He must be extremely powerful. And even with his thought process, he's not really thinking like a human. He's not really thinking like the old Naoya, but then he kind of is, and it's interesting. He says here, you don't understand, Maki. The one who killed me was your mother. It's something, I don't know, maybe it's just my own interpretation, but it's something very eerie about how calmly he delivers this line, considering the state he's in. And then once he noticed that it pisses off Maki, that's when he kind of like, oh shit, can it be that I upset you? But I just thought it was interesting, the real character turn that Naoya is going through. And I actually thought it was pretty interesting when Kamo shoots the arrow and throws the arrow at Naoya and Naoya dodges it. He says, "I hate that cursed technique." That's actually a reference to his battle with Chozo. Of course, pre-Culling Game. I don't really know what that arc is called technically, but pre-Culling Game, he was in fact defeated by Chozo. It wasn't even Yuta that beat him; it was Chozo that beat him by that same curse technique. So I thought it was an interesting callback. We also see Naoya's form from afar. And it really it is kind of creepy. He's literally a caterpillar. Like, he's a caterpillar. He has like 6 arms in the front of his body. I'm assuming he has arms in other places. Not really. I think he just has arms in the front side. That shit is creepy. I really enjoy these like monster designs from Gege. Even now, we so deep into the story, and there are still interesting designs. Even at the end of this chapter, there is another interesting monster design. These monster designs, ever since the beginning and even now, they're just still 10 out of 10 from Gege. Interesting battle. I was happy to see Maki's sword return, the one that was created from Mai. So Any reference to that Maki versus the Zenin arc is going to be a W in my opinion. Another interesting piece of dialogue from Naoya. After Kamo and Maki do their combo attack, he says, "So Cursed spirits feel pain. I've exorcised so many and they were all hurting, huh? I feel so sorry. Not. That is very, to me, that was the most interesting thing about this whole chapter. Is that he himself, he was a sorcerer who was killed without Jujutsu. Came back as a cursed spirit, fighting these two motherfuckers. Then he finally realizes, wait a second. This whole time we've been killing these cursed spirits. These motherfuckers feel pain, and it reminds me of the conversation Mahito had with Yuji back in Shibuya. Mahito, if I remember correctly, at a certain point he stops and he says, "Yuji, you don't count the amount of curses that you killed. Why should I give a fuck about the humans that I killed? You don't care about the cursed spirits." And you know, it's an interesting commentary. Like we're reading this manga, we're reading this fucking series, and it's so easy to see that, okay, our Jujutsu sorcerers, more or less, those are our good guys. Of course, there are some bad ones, but it seems black and white. The humans are the good ones, and these monsters, there's a fucking scary ass monsters, they are obviously the bad guys. They're killing all the humans, eating us and shit like that. But is there really such thing as good and evil in this type of circumstance? Like, cursed spirits are also just like living things that are going about their nature similarly to humans. You know, like, we've killed a whole bunch of animals, eaten animals. We've drove out a whole bunch of animals, building our cities and shit. What's really the difference between a human and a cursed spirits besides, you know, the grotesque image, besides the thinking behind the two entities? Am I the only one that really like was influenced or impacted by that statement from Naoya? So we were like, you know, he does this weird thing, and then now he's in a ball, and it's a cursed womb, and this is our first cursed womb, not counting Chozo, which I don't even think he counts. I'm not sure if he counts exactly. I know his brothers counted, but I'm not sure about him. But aside from them, we have not seen a cursed womb since man, what was that? Civil Disobedience, whatever that arc was called. I forgot the name of that arc. We haven't seen a cursed womb since then, if I'm not mistaken. And cursed wombs, of course, they were a big deal in the beginning of the series. Honestly, you know, one of the most impactful parts of the series was that beginning, you know, not beginning arc, but one of the arcs in the beginning where Yuji, Megumi, and I guess Nobara fought the cursed womb. Like, cursed wombs are a big deal. They're actually rather powerful, and the fact that we have one whose power level is upscaled to fit into the Kung game, to me, makes for an interesting opponent. I always felt like one thing Jujutsu Kaisen does a lot better than a lot of other manga is actually like monster designs and the impact that these monsters have on our story. It's easy, like, to have a monster, have a sorcerer, the sorcerer kills the monster, everybody claps, right? That's more or less how the story is organized. But these monsters, they're like formidable threats. That's something I never really known from another like series. Like, these monsters are formidable threats. The first curse wound basically defeats Yuji. Megumi had to run. So Yuji was not going to get out of there without Sukuna. The next time we see a cursed spirit, it's a big battle with Megumi. Megumi had to use his domain expansion. Another cursed spirit, Mahoraga, that was a big deal. That's not a cursed womb, of course, but at least I don't think it was. But that was a big deal. That was a serious like threat, and it's just a monster that doesn't even speak human language, and that's something I really gotta commend Jujutsu Kaisen for. That's like something that is beyond the norm for shonen manga. Awesome ass moment. Kamo brings out the blood packet from, he's always had that blood packet even from beginning. And he does piercing blood on the fucking ball that Naoya, is in, the cocoon that he's in for the cursed womb. And I never realized that, like, cursed spirits were turning into cursed wombs, or at least some of them were turning into cursed wombs and then evolving into a different thing. I never realized they were actually evolving until this fight. I just figured, okay, monster comes out of the ball, it's strong as fuck. If before this chapter, if I saw the word cursed womb, I just thought to myself, okay, this is gonna be a hard ass monster to fight. It's actually an evolved cursed spirit. These cursed spirits are more like advanced than one may think. He uses piercing blood on the cursed spirit, seemingly defeats the cursed spirit. It fucking fizzles away. Of course, it's not really dead though. Motherfucker Naoya, I guess his true form didn't even take any damage, or not true form, but I guess new form. Didn't even take any damage. And this is an interesting design. Pardon me for my burping. This is an interesting design. This looks like a Final Fantasy monster. Honestly, it looks like a Final Fantasy monster. And it fucking punches Kamo, and Kamo flies. And then now, like, he's like evolving, like he's like growing these tendons. And now this is like, I guess, his, fully evolved, I'm ready to fight state. And that's where the chapter ends. And this is honestly an interesting design. Like I said before, Gege is just always has good monster designs. But yeah, I think this was an action-packed chapter. I think I was very satisfied with this chapter. I honestly didn't think this battle between Maki, Kamo, and Naoya was going to be interesting. Honestly, I kind of felt like, oh my god, Naoya's back, like what the hell, Maki, and he finds Maki. It's like, okay, now we're doing the rematch, but then now he's a cursed spirit. I thought it was going to be whack, but it honestly, the whole aspect of what exactly are cursed spirits and the potential that cursed spirits have is actually finally starting to hit me because of this chapter. So next chapter, I'm assuming the battle's gonna continue. It's gonna be Maki versus Naoya for quite the while, and maybe not even that long. But I'm pretty sure Kamo's gonna come back. It seems like Gege is trying to push Kamo, have do like a sort of breakthrough, because he's never really had that. And this really might be that battle for it. He might end the battle. He might be really a clutch partner for Maki. But he's gonna have to sit. I'm guessing he'll sit out the next minute or so of this battle. But yeah, man, let me know how y'all feel about this new format. I feel like me reading the chapters and giving like my first impression, maybe like those work for like really hype chapters. But I don't think, I feel like it's kind of boring just y'all watching me read it. I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit more interactive, but feel free to write a comment and let me know how you feel about that. Anyway, I'm gonna see y'all next time for Jujustu Kaisen chapter 193. Thank you.